Trump talked about his visit to Louisiana during a rally just a short time ago in Michigan.
These are hard times for many in this country. I just got back from a tour of the suffering and devastation in Louisiana. Perhaps you can tell by the way I'm dressed. Just got off the plane. It was actually incredible. The spirit of the people is incredible. The devastation, likewise, they've never seen anything like it. But the spirit of the people is incredible. And honestly, Obama ought to get off the golf course and get down there.
Former presidential candidate and Donald Trump supporter Dr. Ben Carson goes on the record. Thank you, Dr. Carson, for being on the program tonight. And I think a most auspicious week for the Trump campaign.
It has been a wonderful week for the Trump campaign because, you know, he has begun to really focus on the issues. And when you compare his solutions against Hillary Clinton's, there's no comparison. For instance, you know, she says, take the pie and divide it up evenly and redistribute it. He says, let's make lots of pies so that we can have pie for everybody. You know, that's the kind of spirit that made America great in the first place, creating the right kind of atmosphere. That's what he's doing.
All right. Well, now, what do you think about some of the recent changes? You know, a lot of discussion about that with, of course, Kellyanne Conway coming on to the campaign. The, I guess, you know, now resignation of Paul Manafort, who was obviously helpful to the campaign during those crucial primaries and with the delegates. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, it's like a relay race, an appropriate analogy since we're just in the Olympic period. But, you know, Corey was a great first leg of the race. He did something that no one else has ever been able to do before. And then Paul came along when there was a real delegate situation, and he was able to do that along with the convention. And now it's time for the finish, and you bring in the people who are going to be able to do that. You know, Donald Trump himself has been gradually recognizing that he does need to spend a lot more time talking about the issues and less time giving ammunition to those who wish to destroy him. And he recognizes, because I've had many conversations with him, that this is a crucial election. It's not about 4 years or 8 years. This is about the rest of the history of America. And, you know, the people who are the Never Trump people who are Republicans who can't quite get past their own personal feelings really need to stop and think about their children and their grandchildren and the future of this nation.
And when you see in moments of crisis like this and great struggle and strife with the tremendous suffering in Louisiana, you see Donald Trump going there, stepping up, reaching out to the family members, and the juxtaposition of the President of the United States not going, but of course now he has a trip planned there.
Well, certainly everybody has a right to live their life according to their priorities. The only responsibility we the people have is to look at the way they are living their life and what they're doing, and that tells us what we need to know. So this is actually very revealing for everybody. I think it's absolutely spectacular that Donald Trump was willing to go down there, because you look at those people, thousands of people whose lives have been literally turned upside down. They are devastated. It is so comforting for them to know that someone, you know, in the hierarchy of this country is willing to come down and see what they're talking about. And this is something that you're going to see a lot more going forward over these next several weeks.
Yeah, but you know, when you think about it, and it's not so long ago, and sadly it's a memory that sticks. You know, when we had that, one of our Americans, you know, beheaded, James Foley, with the image, you know, of the president on the golf course, it's disturbing to people. It really speaks volumes, as what many of the people are writing and talking about today.
It really does. And, you know, basically, we're all in this together. We're all in the same boat. And if part of the boat sinks, the rest of it's going down too. We must really begin to care about each other. And we need the kind of leadership that will begin to bring people together. We're not each other's enemies. And just stop stoking those flames of division.
All right, Dr. Carson, can the Trump campaign get it done? We've got, what, 80 days left?
Oh, it's already starting. I think you're going to see a pretty significant change in the polls even next week. And it's going to continue. And as he continues to talk about the actual issues, And the fact that you have one candidate who completely disregards the national debt and the fiscal gap and has no concern about what's happening to the future Americans, and the other one who has a history of being able to do things quickly and efficiently. Just look at their campaigns. Look at the bloated size of the Clinton campaign and the streamlined size of the Trump campaign, even though last month he raised more money than she did. He's going to spend money judiciously. It will make a huge difference in terms of what is required of us as American citizens.
All right, we'll see if the American people think that model and that practice of being judicious with the money will transfer over to the American economy, because we certainly could use some help. Dr. Carson, always a pleasure. Thank you.